What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my main event prediction for Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. Really looking forward to this fight. Really looking forward to this card in general. I mean, we've had 2 weeks off, and yeah, I can't wait to get back into it. It feels like it's been months since I've been on here. So welcome back, guys. Thank you for watching so much. If you could hit the like button, it would really help out a ton. One little like goes a long way. And also subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Trying to reach that 10,000 subscriber mark would be a huge milestone. And yeah, couldn't do it without you guys. A few announcements before we get into the prediction video here. Now's a great time to sign up on Patreon. And as I always say, all my content's going to be free. My prediction videos free, betting breakdowns, live streams, all that's going to be free. Even my bets, I post them for free on Saturdays. But if you do want early access to my bets, and this time it's going to be really early access because none of that's coming out for the next couple weeks here. So now's a great time to sign up early in the month. Have well over 200 members in the community already. Almost hit like 300 last month. And adding some new things for this year as well that I'm really looking forward to on the Patreon, and getting some bets out within the next couple days. Started looking into the card, this upcoming card, UFC Fight Island 7. Started it yesterday. I see a lot of spots, so I'm going to be placing some bets within the next couple days, and some spots are really sticking out. So the most popular tier on Patreon, which is going to be in the link below, is the $10 betting tier. I added an option where you can get a full year at one time instead of paying monthly. You can do the full year at 10% off. With that, you get my fighter stat model, my betting article, all bets, beat some line movement, and beat a lot of lines last year and all that. And my betting breakdown videos, going to be posting a lot of those within the next couple days. Access to my Discord, have a lot of guys in there. We talk fights, especially on fight night. And think about adding a Patreon only live stream on fight day as well for you guys to come in, ask any questions, talk some fights on fight day as well. So that's $10 a month. If you do the yearly package, I think it's like 108. I'm not good with math, but 10% off of 120, whatever that is. But with that said, yeah, click the link, sign up. Really good info there, and I'm going to be getting out a lot of content within the next couple days. So if you want some early content, if you want some UFC content, because there's not going to be some for the next couple weeks, there you go. So with that said, we're going to get into it here for this main event prediction. And as I said, like my full card prediction is going to be coming out within the next couple weeks, probably like sometime next week. So we have Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, a fight I'm really looking forward to. Let's start with Max Holloway here. He is 29 years old, 5'11", 69-inch reach. Is going to be at a 3-inch reach disadvantage. 21-6 and 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Calvin Kattar, on the other hand, is going to be 32 years old. And I don't know, it seems like Max Holloway is older than 29. He's definitely older in fight years. He's been fighting for a while. He's been fighting the best of the best. But yeah, 29 years old. So he's going to be 3 years younger than Calvin Kattar. And Calvin Kattar, same height, 5'11", 72-inch reach, 3-inch reach advantage. 22-4 and 4-1 on his last 5 fights. He's been looking really good. His last loss was against Zabit a couple fights ago. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I do want to get into some of the stats for this fight because I do think they are very important to note. So start with Max Holloway and the striking stats. So Max Holloway lands a ton of volume. Averages 6.47 significant strikes per minute with a 44% accuracy. He absorbs 4.52, so he is dishing out more than he is absorbing. 61% striking defense as well. And Calvin Kattar, on the other hand, lands 5.01, still a lot of volume, a little bit less than Max, but still a decent amount of volume. Only a 41% accuracy, which is 3% less than Max. And this is the big thing here. He does absorb 5.66 significant strikes per minute. So he is absorbing more than he's landing, which is concerning, especially looking at the level of competition that Calvin Kattar has been fighting. We'll get more into that later in the video. So Calvin Kattar does have a 56% striking defense. And I don't really want to, we don't need to touch on the grappling stats all that much. Both guys don't really go for takedowns. Max averages 0.22, Kattar averages 0.47. Both guys have really, really good takedown defenses. Max sitting at 83%, Kattar sitting at 88%. This fight, I would be shocked if this fight hit the mat. So don't need to look into that all that much. But yeah, Max Holloway has 27 fights. Kattar has 26 fights. So Max Holloway has won by knockout 48% of the time. He's won by submission 10% of the time for a 58% finish rate. Calvin Kattar has 26 fights, like I mentioned. 45% was won by knockout, 14% by submission, finish rate of 59%. So very similar there. And Max Holloway has lost by decision 5 times. He's lost by submission once. Never been knocked out, which is important to note. Calvin Kattar's lost by decision 3 times, submitted once. Never been knocked out, which is, again, is important to note there. So, yeah, I feel like this fight's going to play out on the feet for the majority of the time, pretty much the whole time as well. So getting to Max Holloway a little bit more. So he is sitting at minus 155 on the betting line, opened up at minus 215, and that really surprises me that the line has moved that much. I actually kind of agree with the opener a little bit more, and I'll tell you why. But in his last 3 fights, lost to Alexander Volkanovski by split decision, and I had a max bet, a 5-unit play on Alexander Volkanovski. I really thought Max won that fight, and I went back and watched it yesterday, and again, I thought Max won that fight. I thought Max clearly won round 1 and round 2 by hurting a Volkanovski. I thought round 3 was close, but I thought Max did land more volume, won that round. And then I thought that Volkanovski won round 4 and round 5. So I scored it 3-2 in favor of Max. And it was a split decision. It was all up to how the judges saw the third round, really. But yeah, I thought Max won that fight, and I was like sweating so bad because I had a huge play on Volkanovski. The last fight before that, lost to Alexander Volkanovski by unanimous decision. That was more of a clear win for Volkanovski there. Not much argument there, but yeah, I thought Max did win their last fight. And then before that, beat Frankie Edgar by unanimous decision, which a solid win there. And some notable wins for Max Holloway, Jose Aldo ×2, both in 2017. Very good wins there against a legend and Jose Aldo. Brian Ortega in 2018, we all remember that beating. And Ortega came back from it a couple years later, looked fantastic his last fight against the Korean Zombie. But yeah, absolute beating against Brian Ortega. And then beat Anthony Pettis in 2016. Some notable losses. And as you can see here, like he's losing to the best of the best here. Dustin Poirier ×2, once in 2012 and once in 2019. Remember that fight in 2019. But the important thing to note was that fight was at 155, and this fight's at 145. So Max looked okay in that fight. He was the favorite in that fight as well. I thought he was going to win, but Poirier looked fantastic. But again, we have to remember that fight was at 155, so can't look into that all that much, in my opinion. After that, Conor McGregor 2013, Alexander Volkanovski ×2 in 2019, and then 2020 in a fight that I really thought that Max won. So getting into Calvin Kattar's last 3 fights, he beat Dan Ige by unanimous decision, put on a very nice performance there, outlanded him like 105 to like 80 something like that. And then knocked out Jeremy Stephens, had a really nice elbow, and which was impressive because Jeremy Stephens was a really tough guy. And then before that, he lost to Zabit by unanimous decision. In that fight, it is important to note that I believe it was Zabit that asked for it to be 3 rounds rather than a 5-round fight in the main event. And if it was 5 rounds, I do think Kattar would have won that fight. We saw that Zabit had success in the first 2 rounds, and then Calvin Kattar was more than taking over in the 3rd round. And I think if he had those extra 2 rounds, he would have probably knocked out Zabit or at least won the next 2 rounds after that. So important to note there. Some notable wins for Kattar. I mean, you can tell there, a huge discrepancy in the notable wins here. Shane Burgos, which was a good win at the time, and a good win in general. In 2018, Shane Burgos was undefeated in that fight. Ricardo Lamas in 2019, solid win there, and then Jeremy Stephens in 2020. So not the same level of competition at all, honestly. And the notable losses, Zabit in 2019 and Renato Moicano in 2018. So getting more into Max Holloway here, very good volume and pressure. He drowns opponents in volume. Does not really deal with pressure himself all that well, but yeah, he's extremely good chin and toughness, and that's what I like about Max Holloway. Like, he can take a shot, he can eat a shot. He's never been knocked out. He's never been knocked down in the UFC, which is very impressive. And he can go a 5 rounds hard with no problem whatsoever, and he typically gets better as the fight goes on. So in his last fight against Volkanovski, he went out there and he started out very fast. He beat Volkanovski clear in the 2 rounds. I thought round 3 was close, but I thought Max got it. But he hurt Volkanovski twice in rounds 1 and rounds 2. And typically you expect Max Holloway to get better as the fight goes on. He kind of, I don't want to say slow down because he didn't slow down all that much, but he did slow down in a way. But he still was looking fresh in the 5th round. But he did slow down with a volume standpoint. But yeah, so that was interesting to note there. And in that Volkanovski fight, I'm not going to look into this too much, but Hawaii was on a strict lockdown. You're not allowed to go to gyms and whatnot. And like I said, you can't look into this much, but I don't think he had the best training camp whatsoever. There were rumors that he was training on Zoom. He was doing Zoom training, and he was talking about he was really serious about like staying safe, keeping his family safe, staying inside. So I don't know if you can look into it that much, but just something to note there. And then as for Calvin Kattar, what I noticed about him, and he is very hittable, and you can see it in the stats. He is absorbing more than he's giving out against these low-level opponents. Not low-level, but lower level compared to a Max Holloway and who he's fighting. Tends to back up against the cage at times and cover up. Don't mind his striking defense, but he does get hit a ton. He has a very, very good jab. That's probably the best weapon that he has. Some solid leg kicks, and he is a little bit of a slow starter as well, but decent power and decent finishing ability also. So as for my prediction, I feel like this fight could play out semi-close. I'm curious to see how Max approaches this fight. Does he come out with a fast start like he did his last fight, or does he just build up as the fight goes on? And I feel like he's very, very motivated. I feel like he's going to have a really good training camp for this one. Losing 2 in a row. You can't lose 3 in a row here. And this is easily the biggest fight of Kattar's career and a huge test against Max Holloway here. And it's not even close. And Holloway has only lost to the best of the best. And in my opinion, this is a pretty sizable step down from a guy like Alexander Volkanovski. I feel like this fight will play out kind of close. I feel like both guys will throw a ton, but I see Max throwing more volume and throwing a ton of volume overall. I think this fight's going to play out on the feet. I think these guys are going to combine for so many significant strikes. It's going to be crazy, but Kattar is very hittable, and I think he will get hit a lot here versus Max Holloway. So I don't see a finish on either side. Both guys have never been knocked out. Both guys have never been knocked down, I don't believe. And yeah, I'm going to take Max Holloway here. I'm going to take Max Holloway to win by unanimous decision. I just think Max is on a different level. I mean, Kattar can definitely prove me wrong. I think Kattar's a great fighter. I love Kattar as a fighter, but man, this is a huge, huge step up here. And like I said, Max has to be motivated after his last loss to Volkanovski in a fight that I'm sure he thought he won. I'm sure that a lot of people thought he won, and including me. So as far as the betting goes, Holloway at minus 155, I think that's a pretty solid price there, honestly. Kattar plus 135. I'm kind of surprised with the line movement on this one. Max opening up like minus 215. People are writing off Max Holloway. It's crazy. The dude's only 29 years old. For losing 3 of his last 4 against the best at the best. You got to look at who he's fighting. Alexander Volkanovski twice. In a fight that I thought he won the last one, and then Dustin Poirier, a fight that was at 155, which I do think is huge there. So I'm going to sit back a little bit. I'm going to wait for the line to fluctuate a little bit more. I think get a little bit better price on Max. I think that there's a lot of love for Kattar out there. I don't really see it, but Kattar has been looking good. But again, look at who he's fighting. Like guys like Dan Ige. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Dan Ige fan, but man, look at who Max is fighting. Look at who Calvin Kattar's fighting. And yeah, so I'm gonna go with Max on this one by decision. Some prop bets you could look at. The over 4.5 is what it's set at. Fight goes to decision. Something you can look at, like, because both these guys are very tough. I really don't see a finish on either side. I really don't. So Max by decision if it's good line. Even Kattar by decision. If you want to take a shot on Kattar, that's probably the way to go. It would be Kattar by decision, which is probably like plus 300 and something. So if you're on the Kattar side, I'd play him by decision. Either guy by decision is probably fine there. But yeah, I might take a shot on Max. I might take a shot on Max if the line gets a little bit better. Like give me minus 145. I'll have to jump on there. There's no way. I do think this line should be like minus 200, minus 215, like kind of where it opened. So yeah, don't really get the line movement here. Kind of a disrespect to Max. Because, man, there's got to be some recency bias there. Like Max losing, 3 of his last 4, and Kattar winning like 4 of his last 5. But again, look at the level of competition there. So give me Max Holloway. Really looking forward to this main event. Really looking forward to the card in general. And yeah, that's about it. So let me know who you guys have down in the comments. I'm sure there will be a decent amount of people on both sides here. I feel like, yeah, it's going to be a really good fight. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys enjoy my content, please leave a like. It helps out a ton. Subscribe if you have not yet. You can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Click the Patreon link down below to sign up. I'm going to be getting out some bets very soon as probably today. Some spots I really, really, really do like. And then hopefully it's a good 2021. Had a fantastic 2020. Keep it rolling into this year. And ready to make some money this year as well. So that's about it. And look out for my other content. Hopefully get my full card breakdown done within the next week. Early next week. I want to get out very early for you guys. And then, of course, we have 3 cards in the span of 7 days. So I'm going to be busy. I'm going to getting to work all this week. Hopefully you knock some of that stuff out, get some bets out, get some betting breakdowns out on Patreon. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a good year. Looking to add a bunch of new things. And yeah, so good luck, guys, and see you soon.